They're San Antonians.
What's going on, man?
Serving right now in Iraq.
I've got a beautiful wife and 2 little boys, 9 and 6.
Starting tonight, 7,000 miles from home, only on News 4 WOAI at 10.
If they're red, they go into the ER.
The day News 4 arrived in Iraq,
7 more urgent coming in.
the Battle of Fallujah erupted,
Holy smokes.
and the emergency room kicked into high gear.
Hey, buddy, what's your name? Having a lot of pain? Where are you injured?
Just in, a 19-year-old with a severe cut on his forehead.
It looks like he's been bombed. He's got some blood inside of his mouth.
It is controlled chaos in the ER, a mass casualty situation.
They got 10 in there right now. This guy's waiting on transfer out.
Are you allergic to anything?
Yet just another day for the doctors, nurses, and all kinds of staff from Wilford Hall.
We're prepared to take care of whatever comes in the door.
Captain Randy Claxton and the other Wilford Hall medics make up 2/3 of the hospital staff here. Some of them are family doctors or allergists back at home.
Henry, this gentleman here on the first bed on your right.
But Captain Lynn Wilson is right in her element. She is an ER doc at Wilford, and here she's the ER's medical director.
When you go through that door, update it on the board, because he still needs to go to the OR, okay? Good luck to you, buddy.
Wilson can't remember the last time she had a break from the action.
Today's my off day.
And y'all were in Fallujah, right? How's it going over there?
It's going all right until I got shot.
Captain Henry LeBlanc, the nurse manager, is also from Wilford, and his sense of humor lightens the spirits of the wounded.
After his CT, he wants to call his mom.
Well, I just...
He doesn't want you to call her. Because
She'll freak out if it's not me.
No, don't worry, man. We ain't gonna call nobody.
The hospital itself is just a maze of tents, but it offers everything that a major hospital in the U.S. does. From CAT scans to major surgery. Wilford's Lieutenant Colonel Don Jenkins.
One fellow unfortunately suffered such severe wounds, had an amputation of his leg and of his arm.
This is an important function for the hospital.
There are some recreation tents, too, and some of them serve as internet cafes. One is even a chapel. But that, Wilford's Lieutenant Colonel James Quinn says, sadly serves a dual purpose.
This also gives me a quiet, secluded place to have to tell a family that their loved one has passed away.
The hospital sits on a former Iraqi air base called Balad that is now heavily fortified. So with the exception of occasional mortar fire, the medics are relatively safe.
We're on a rooftop in Samara.
The wounded troops, on the other hand, come in with incredible stories from the field.
Bullet entered through the top of my helmet, came out on the inside. Because it was a tracer round, the phosphorus set the inside of my helmet and the back of my head on fire.
Defining bravery, Lieutenant Jordan Chase says he'll be leaving the hospital as soon as the burns on his head heal, and he'll be going back to the front lines.
The rest of my friends are down there, and I don't like just sitting around in my butt when I could be back there helping them.
In addition to the dozens of wounded troops admitted here every day, the medics also treat some Iraqi civilians, and we're told some Iraqi insurgents. Wilford Hall's Colonel Greg Wickern is the commander of the hospital.
We take care of Iraqis who are often innocent victims who, just like our American soldiers, are injured with explosive devices or are shot.
I got it.
It is a rare moment when the Wilford Hall medics can take a break, because if they're not treating the injured, they are preparing for the inevitable next arrival.
San Antonians in Iraq. It's a heartbreaking job, taking care of personal belongings of injured and fallen soldiers.
Whenever you look at their pictures and you see that they have a wife, they have children, it gets really tough for a lot of people.
It's a job we don't think about, but has to be done. News 4 WOAI continues our journey in Iraq, where you will meet brave San Antonians doing incredible work. 7,000 miles from home, tonight only on News 4 at 10.
They are not bringing patients in from the battlefield.
I hear helicopters flying over.
They are not treating casualties in the ER.
Let's do this. It's time to work.
What they do at this military hospital in Balad, Iraq, gets little notice, but it is incredibly important.
Are there any more patient valuables anywhere located in here?
They're all over the place.
Okay, I'll come back over and grab some more.
Staff Sergeant Daniel Johnson, deployed from Lackland Air Force Base, and the other men and women working hospital administration duty, well, they do much more than administrative work.
It gets emotional sometimes.
They sort through and keep track of all the personal belongings of soldiers, Marines, airmen, and sailors who are injured or killed in battle.
Whenever you look at their pictures and you see that they have a wife, they have children, you're just like, especially whenever you know that they're in real bad state, it makes you think, you know, it gets really tough for a lot of people though.
All of their personal belongings, IDs, dog tags, wedding rings, pictures, even cash, and sometimes a good amount of it.
This is not uncommon to see.
And all their military gear, helmets, flak vests, belts, some of which had to be cut off of them in the emergency room.
Half the time it's blood, or you see that, you know, the shrapnel in the dog tag.
And at times the work can be just overwhelming.
Sometimes it does bother me when we're doing death cases and we see pictures of families, children in the wallets that we have to secure for mortuary affairs.
And at times, going through blood-soaked belongings, it can be gruesome.
Do I want to know what this is on this thing? Probably don't, right? Probably don't.
Blood, tissue.
Understand, sir?
Yes, sir.
Blood soaked.
Yes, it is.
You get used to it now. Not to sound morbid, but
That's the uniform of a Navy lieutenant who did survive. And it's during these times that humor has to take over just for them to make it through.
Skittles.
Hey, it's come in handy.
Always come in handy. It's got to taste the rainbow.
Come prepared.
Tissue.
Despite the nature of some of the work, these San Antonio airmen know what they have to do.
The most important, I would say keep their valuables, make sure that every one of their mementos, you know, special pictures, cards, anything like that goes back to them.
And the soldiers are very happy that we're here to help and to assist them. They're very happy to have us here.
He never saw it coming.
And a rocket came down and punched through the roof of a building.
A San Antonian injured in Iraq, then San Antonio doctors operating on him. 7,000 miles from home, tonight only on News 4 at 10.
We had pushed up to our objective in Fallujah, inside the city, and we had set up inside a building, and we were requesting to push forward to a taller building.
Kris Clinkscales from Alamo Heights is an Army sniper, so in the grinding street fight of Fallujah, he was working to get up higher and closer to get a better shot when it happened.
A rocket came down and punched through the roof of a building and came out the wall of it and landed in the courtyard about 20 feet in front of us and detonated. And it was pretty loud.
Shrapnel tore into Clinkscales' finger and arm.
And as I went to take my glove off, the blood started running down my hand.
How you feeling?
Give me some.
So he wound up here in one of the biggest U.S. military hospitals in Iraq.
You're walking, so that's a good thing.
And he found himself surrounded by 160 San Antonians. That's 2/3 of the entire staff here.
And let's take a knife and open this widely. So this young guy is a real nice young man from Alamo Heights. I'm a military orthopedic surgeon, so I can't afford to live there.
Wilford Hall's Lieutenant Colonel Mark Richardson is a little surprised, not only that Clinkscales is another hometown boy, but that he doesn't seem to be in more pain.
So he looks like he's got an early compartment syndrome, but he sure didn't act like it. That's supposed to be very painful. Look at those veins bleed, man. That's...
In under an hour, it's almost over, at least for now. They stop after digging out several big blood clots and one small piece of shrapnel.
And that's how tiny that was.
But they're afraid there's more.
It's amazing how these fragments can start in some places and end up in other places, and the damage they can do inside to vital structures.
Worried about infection and possible long-term damage, doctors decide more surgery will have to wait.
These guys are doing a great job over here, and it really is a privilege to take care of them.
And that means Kris will have to leave Iraq for hospitals a little closer to home, where there's room for all the injured to actually rest and recuperate.
He'll be back in, probably back in Germany, getting another surgery either tomorrow or the next day.
But first,
You could turn the answering machine off?
still groggy from surgery, a call home to Mom.
Why?
And some thoughts about the friends in his unit he may or may not return to.
You rely on a lot of your friends to pull you through it, and you know, so you just do the best you can. I mean, you try not to think too much about home. You get homesick, but it's just a whole other culture out here.
A culture this Alamo Heights sniper is leaving behind, now on his way to Germany.
I just hope everyone gives a lot of these guys the respect they deserve for the things they've been doing out here, and tries to put, you know, try to put your own personal opinions behind. Because there's a lot of guys out here laid up who they put a lot on the line out there, and they deserve a lot of people's, they deserve everybody's respect for what they've been doing out here. It's a tough job, and you know, sometimes shit happens, and there's a lot of guys out here who are a lot worse than me that are they're real tough guys, and it's an honor to serve with them.